Game of Thrones Season 6 is over! Jack! Come back! Come back, Jack! Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Last night was Season 6, Episode 10, the finale of Game of Thrones. And this episode did not disappoint. I was so happy with this episode. Usually Episode 10 of Game of Thrones historically is usually the most laid back and boring episode of each season because they kind of set you up for the next season and nothing really happens. But I found Season 6 to be really fast paced. Now I know that the TV show is no longer following the books because there are no books to follow right now. You can definitely see a difference between how the pacing was in Season 5, 4, and 3 to Season 6. It just happened so quickly and all the things that we wanted as an audience happened. Episode 9 and 10 of this season has been the most satisfying episodes of this entire franchise, in my opinion. I mean, Jon Snow fights Ramsay. Right when we think that he's about to die again, he gets saved by the Men of the Vale, which is basically Littlefinger's army. We know that Sansa had to call him and get him to offer his army like he did the last time, even though she does not trust him. But in the end, it works out for the Starks, and they get to take Winterfell back, which is amazing. Now, in episode 10, we kind of see the development of relationships between a lot of the families in Game of Thrones. So we touch on Bran and his uncle, who actually ends up bringing him to the wall, and Bran is now prepared to become the Three-Eyed Raven. We get to see a little vision, which I'm really excited about, that kind of speaks to the origin story of Jon Snow. Jon Snow is not actually Eddard Stark's son. He is actually the son of Lyanna Stark, who is Ned Stark's younger sister. He has to take him in order to protect him, and, you know, she dies giving childbirth. Now, my theory is that Jon is actually a Targaryen. I've always thought this. I want him to be this. I feel like him and Daenerys are going to be the saving grace of the whole entire Seven Kingdoms. Jon Snow, when he died the first time, they never actually burned his body, and I think that if the body was burned, I don't think it would actually burn because he's Targaryen in my brain. Anyway, so Sansa and Jon Snow make a pact with each other and just basically tell each other, like, we have to see eye to eye from here on out. And of course, shortly after this conversation, Littlefinger is all like, hey, you know what I've always wanted. I want the Iron Throne and I want you by my side. But the great thing about this is that Littlefinger doesn't actually get his way, finally, because Lyanna Mormont, who is a total badass, who is the youngest leader of one of the families who pledged allegiance to the Starks before all the drama started, was like, hey, listen, Jon Snow is our king. He is going to be the king of the North and I stand by him. And then finally all of the other families stand up and pledge allegiance to the king of the North, which kind of pushes Littlefinger out of the way. He's not going to be marrying Sansa because she doesn't need him. Her brother and herself are going to rule the North, which is awesome. The only thing here is that Littlefinger is probably going to betray the Stark family in some way and probably try to align himself with the Lannisters. Now, in Westeros, everything's gone to hell. The beginning of this episode starts with the trial of Cersei and Queen Marjorie's brother. Now, Cersei doesn't show up, and it's because she lights all of the wildfire that's under the city on fire, and, well, everybody dies. The Sparrow, Marjorie, everyone. And this is happening as Tommen watches the city burn to the ground. Now, he is so distraught that after this, he jumps out of a window and commits suicide. And now Cersei, as the prophecy was told, no longer has any children, and she becomes the queen of King's Landing yet again. She is on the Iron Throne yet again. Now, Jaime comes home and you can see that he's putting a few things together, and Cersei is back on the throne, and he gives this look to her. And I feel as though Jaime is conflicted. Although he loves Cersei, I think he thinks that she's finally gone completely mad. He doesn't know who he's looking at, and he may be the next person to betray Cersei in some way. Now, this is just a theory of mine, but I do see something like that happening. Let's talk about Daenerys. Now, Ferrys meets up with Marjorie's grandmother and the women of Dorne, and they basically hate Cersei so much that they are planning to attack Cersei. Now, Ferrys comes in and is like, listen, we all hate Cersei, so come and join Daenerys. Now, along with all of the ships that Daenerys has gotten from Theon and his sister, they now have the allegiance of Dorne and of Marjorie's grandmother. This is so exciting. We finally get to see the Queen of the Dragons head towards Westeros on all of her ships with her 3 dragons. Now, I think this is amazing. I'm loving the theme of the leading ladies, women in power. It's going to be a girl power season next season for sure. And of course, another amazing thing that happens is that Tyrion gets to become the Hand of the Queen. I really like his alliance with Daenerys. I feel like we're really going to see him become the man that he needs to become, because he was always pushed down by his family and not treated well. He was the imp, actually, and you know, people just didn't take him seriously. So this is going to be really great for him next season as well too. Now, I obviously cannot forget Arya. Now, I am so happy that this girl made it out of where she was and checked off her list. She killed Walder Frey. Now, he is the man who trapped Robb Stark and his wife and his mother and, you know, committed the act of the Red Wedding. And he was bragging to Jaime about things. And of course, Jaime Lannister was like, dude, we kind of don't really need you. And that's how that was left off. Jaime leaves and Walder Frey is at the table being an ass like he's usually being. And the servant girl turns out to be Arya, and she slits his throat. And it's amazing. I love it. There's retribution there. We get to see that Arya has grown as a character. She's powerful, she's strong, and I can't wait till she gets to Winterfell. The way the season is left off, it seems as though all of the Starks are going to be able to unite, come together, and really rule the North like it was ruled before their father died. And I cannot wait to see this. Now, I know it's kind of messed up in King's Landing right now, but Daenerys is going to come. She's going to get rid of Cersei. The Lannisters are almost finished. They only have so many allies right now. And Walder Frey was one of the last. I'm thinking Littlefinger might go over there, but even with him, they don't stand a chance against Daenerys. And Daenerys will ultimately unite the kingdom, and Jon Snow will join her in that, and then the real battle will be with the White Walkers, and I cannot wait to see this. Of course, at the end of the episode, there's a raven that comes, and the raven said, winter has finally come. And we as the audience know, and Jon Snow knows, that once winter's here, well, it's going to be easier for the White Walker King to come and take over. I am hoping that the pacing remains the same for next season. I'm hoping there's no filler going on. I did hear a little rumor that the seasons are going to get shorter. The next season is supposedly supposed to only be 7 episodes, and I'm really hoping that's not the case because, well, I need my dosage of Game of Thrones. I already thought that 10 episodes wasn't enough. I'm really excited. I'm really happy with this season. I'm going to go into withdrawal. I may be rewatching this season just to keep myself occupied until next year. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought about the episode. Comment below, like the video, share the video, and until next time, catch you later.